All right, man. We are recording. This is the first official Tim and Matt and Tim show. Hey, I wonder if we should do it every Sunday, man, to kind of get a little continuity going.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
let's do it. So Tim and I talked about this our last conversation. Well, actually, we've been talking about this for years, kind of collaborating on something. And I think the last conversation we had, we thought, you know what, the stuff that we're talking about, our conversations, we should probably record these, and maybe they might be beneficial or
Yeah.
for just strictly entertainment purposes for people to laugh at us, or people, want to add to the conversation. But I thought, this is a good opportunity for us to collaborate and get some content up and
Yeah.
talk a little bit about, the things that interest us. And we do have a lot of things that we have in common, and we're like-minded, so hopefully we'll draw that kind of audience here. So you remember when we first met. Tell everybody a little bit. Well, first of all, tell everybody a little bit about yourself before we get into how we actually met with our buddy Jim.
Well, most recently, I'm not going to go all the way back to I was born in a small town.
Right. I had two wonderful parents, and
right. 45 minutes later, I'm just getting to the topic.
By the way, this is not scripted, everybody. If you hadn't already, we're going to keep this thing unscripted. So go ahead, Tim.
Oh, definitely. So, really, I think right before we met, I had been living in Asia. I lived in China and then moved to Japan, and came back to the U.S. Ended up coming back to the U.S.
What'd you do real quick though? Not to skirt past this. What'd you do in Japan that was not usually what people go over there and do? What did you do over there specifically? Martial arts.
Besides my job, which was teaching English, I was practicing judo.
Nice.
In Japan, you have to join some club in order for people to even conversate with you. You'll just be isolated, going to work and coming home and just miserable unless you join something.
We're not talking to that dude. He doesn't like judo. Right.
Yeah, the weird foreigner. Yeah. So a little bit of xenophobia going on, but
right. But you knew how to play that. You knew how to play along and do all that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You learn pretty quick. Either you're going to be miserable and just be isolated, or you're going to start, joining. You got to pick up some of the cultural, some of the cultural practices and habits and
idiosyncrasies and whatnots.
Yes. Yeah. So then we ended up, we had been there for years, had a son born in Tokyo. And then we ended up coming back to the U.S. because of the tsunami in 2011. And I think we met, I'm not sure, is that when we met? Or was it the next year, maybe 2012?
I can't remember the exact year actually, but I know that it was on a Jim Cockrum forum, and it was me having some website I needed to promote backlinks to.
Yeah.
And I was trying to do the whole SEO thing myself, and I was teaching myself, and I was reaching out to people that I didn't know. Instead of trying to take a course, I figured, why don't I just outsource this backlinks and see if I can't get some traffic out of it.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
And I think I saw you post it. I think I saw you post it, and then I reached out, and then the rest is history. We became fast internet friends.
Yeah. Then we ended up, that's the interesting thing about the internet. You can know people for years and never actually meet them face to face.
I know.
And then we've met face to face a few times,
Yeah, you came and you and your family came and visited in I'm in Asheville, North Carolina. So you guys came over, and we've talked on the phone, but we've never even did a conference call like this before we even met face to face.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Right.
And then besides that, I'm business wise, I'm in medical supply and have some background in e-commerce, through eBay and Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon, and just selling on Amazon in general. Various sites, Bonanza, eCrater,
Right.
I've dabbed in a lot of different areas and internet related.
Yeah. You've always been. You and I have always been about the side hustle and creating, passive income streams.
Right.
And we've had a lot of conversations about how to do that. And then there's hundreds and hundreds of different ways to do it and thousands of different ways to do it. And so you just have to, find one that you're passionate about and that you can create some content around. And so we've always, and then of course, cryptocurrency is the other thing. So I'll give you, you were kind enough to give a little background in yourself. So right around that time, I'm in the satellite communications business now. And I think that's what I was doing when I first met you. And I was trying to rank I think I was trying to rank one of the websites that we had, a satellite website, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember exactly what it was. But I've been an internet marketer for the last 8 years. So I just love to set up automated systems online, and I love selling. I've sold all kinds of things. I've, anything from, well, really bartending is really where I started out, was bartending. And I think, I had a business. I had a property management business in Naples, Florida for a while. I don't know if did you know about my concierge business?
No,
so So I was in Southwell. I guess that's a good place to start. So, cause that's when the whole entrepreneurial thing really started for me. So I was in Naples, Florida for 14 years, and I had bartended at a private resort. And I thought, you know what this place needs is there's a lot of snowbirds that come for half the year. They come down to Naples during the winter when it's cold up north, and then the summer they head back up. So I thought,
birds, that's what you call them?
That's what you call them. And so these people needed somebody to take care, like a caretaker, to take care of their property and make sure that someone was going in and there wasn't mold growing in the summer. And you had to get somebody in there to clean it when they would come back. And then the guys would want cigars. And so I sort of took the whole premise of a concierge inside of a Ritz-Carlton, right? Where you call down and somebody can do literally anything for you.
Right.
And I thought that needed to be in a gated community in Southwest Florida, because that's where I was. So I took that concierge idea and I took that out and made it available to people in gated communities. And that was my first stint as an entrepreneur. And then in that process, I ended up meeting my current business partner, John, who had this satellite communications business. And then, so we provide satellite communication for people that operate in remote parts of the world that don't have access to 3G, 4G. They just can't call and believe it or not, there's a lot of people that do that kind of thing. So what I brought to the table was I taught myself internet marketing, and I set up systems for our company. And so that now we kind of have an auto lead generation system that runs 24/7. And I kind of brought that into our business, which we didn't have prior. So I ended up selling my concierge business. I started doing really well in this telecommunications. I couldn't even spell satellite to begin with. But I had a good teacher, and that's my current business partner. And so now I still do satellite. I work from home. I'm lucky enough. You and I both are lucky enough to work from home.
Yeah.
And, I don't really have a boss. I have business partners and you have, I guess, business partners that you have various relationships with. But that's essentially how, not long story short, the real cliff notes in this first episode. We can get into more detail, but you and I really just wanted to take action. We wanted to make sure that we started getting stuff that we just talk about for years and just do it.
Get it recorded.
Instead of just talking about stuff and that's what everybody does. They talk about all the things they're going to do. It's like, no, you know what? Let's do it, because I think, some of the stuff we got to say, maybe people will think we're crazy, but I think, and I definitely am crazy. I'm crazier than you with a lot of my ideas, but you know what? At least we're taking action, right?
That's right. That's right. Get some momentum going.
That's right.
Incrementalism, like we were talking about the other day.
That's right. And I think that's what we're going to talk about, for somebody that might be watching this on YouTube that have come across the Matt and Tim, or Tim and Matt show, and you watch this first episode. Really what we want to do is just be real and have conversations like we would as friends on the phone.
Right.
But then share that information, because we're not talking about things. I think we're talking about important things, at least they are to us.
Yeah.
And they would be to a lot of people. And I think we have a humorous perspective oftentimes, and people need to hear that kind of thing. And we try to be optimistic, and you need to hear good news, and the world needs this kind of thing. So I think, this is just the intro to say that we could do it, and it's easier. And I'm going to get my background a little bit better. I make sure that my sheet's ironed.
I'm gonna get somebody to come in and graffiti this wall, and so every time and change it every time, so you'll think I'm in different locations, even though I'm just in the same spot. Yeah.
Before we got on, man, I had an Eiffel Tower, and I was be like, "Hey Tim, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm live here in Paris," and it just didn't work. It just didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I thought you were in Indonesia, in Bali or somewhere when I saw the background.
oh, it was beautiful. Yeah, I got my green screen, but so what are you just behind? You've got a wall of somewhere because it looks like looks like a sheet.
I'm just on the judo mat. Yeah, I just come. This is where I come, and sit.
Nice.
I practice down here, so this is the wall that people get thrown into sometimes.
Right. And, yeah. People come over and you seem like such a calm and a very calm and like laid back dude. But when you get on the judo mat, it's like,
yeah, very different on it. Yeah. I'm not recognizable from the
Is that Tim Neal?
Yeah. Some people, even at the gym, somebody actually said, like, "You're so nice when we're off the mat. It's just weird how you change." I'm like, "I don't change. I have to be aggressive. We're grappling. I can't be on ice when I'm trying to put you on the ground,
Yeah, man. What does he expect?
Right.
You're a warrior.
Right. You have to be, so. But yeah, that's where I am. I'm just in the basement and sitting in the exercise area.
Dude, you never know. The Matt and Tim show, or I guess every week we should change it up because this week we can do Matt and Tim, and next week it'll be the Tim and Matt show. We'll have like an intro, like a real professional intro, like some of these guys do.
Yeah,
and,
the music.
And, before you know it, we'll be in suits and stuff, and so just we're gonna remember these times, and we'll have really nice backgrounds, but we'll actually be in the place.
Right. Not the fake background.
Not the fake background. We'll actually
Waldorf Astoria.
Right, live from Bali.
Yeah.
So I think that this is going to be fun. We could do this. I mean, we could even do it kind of like the random show.
Yeah,
we're seeing Kevin Rose and Tim Ferriss, which is the other thing that really I think we started talking about Tim Ferriss in the 4-Hour Work Week when you and I first started talking about how to outsource the things that you could easily outsource in your life, and that really got that book had a big influence on me. So
that was huge. Tim Ferriss in general has just been huge, influencing me.
Yeah.
To try to keep, with VAs and trying to
set up a little economy for yourself.
Yes. Right. All the income streams and trying to learn how not to try to do everything yourself.
Right.
It's
right, because you can't. You got to do the things you're good at and the things you aren't.
Right. But more along the lines of, with him, the influence on me was along the lines of not being working in the business, but try to be like the CEO. So you're not actually doing everything. Get a VA. I remember I was like, get a VA? I'm hardly making any money. What's he talking about? But he was saying, from the beginning, you get a VA. As soon as you understand how to do something, you can teach it to somebody, then get a VA.
Yeah, learn it yourself.
Unless it's a critical aspect of your business that you feel like you need to take care of. But if not, VA.
Sure. Just learn the system yourself. Because if people want to start these overnight businesses and expect things to happen, right away, like we often laugh about people that are these opportunity tire kickers, and they just want that quick. And I think it's that crypto mindset too of
lottery mindset.
The lottery mindset. Well, especially since crypto, more than probably any other investment vehicle ever has had growth that no one's ever seen.
Right.
And so people that bought in at 4 cents when Bitcoin was 4 cents, or Ethereum when it was under 20 cents, and look at it now. So that's possible. So people have that instant gratification mindset.
Yeah.
And you and I've talked about how you got to have, you got to expect that it's coming, but you can't get around that work. You've got to put that work in, and you've got to set those systems up, and you've got to learn them enough to where you can say, all right, I'm going to teach someone else now, like a VA, to get that extra leverage so you can do what it is that you do. Like, for instance, like I'm setting up campaigns for different cryptocurrency offers, and I love to write copy, but makes sense for me to hire a professional copywriter.
Right.
Makes sense for me to, have somebody that's good at with graphics do my graphics if I want to present myself. And so when you first start out, maybe you want to do all that yourself, but then you realize, you know what, I got a little system going here. I can get a team of people to collaborate, just like you and I are. I've had Zoom interviews like this with my copywriter and platforms like Upwork.com where you get your VAs and everything. Where do you get your VAs from? All over, really? Where's your platform?
Man, I mean, don't get me to try to recite the name of the V. There's multiple.
It's a bunch of them. I knew you used a bunch of them, right?
Upwork is more like, I know there's VAs on Upwork, but a lot of them are just freelancers. But I like to get the VAs who every day they call me on Skype. I'm doing this. Here's my time. I logged it.
Right.
They're working on. They have a project they're working on, and it's ongoing. Instead of like with Upwork, where you hire them and then you hire them again, and I know you can switch the settings where it's ongoing, but
sure.
I get them from 3 different VA sites. Next time we're on here, I'll tell you what they are. I can't remember the name. But
you've had great experience with that, though, right?
You're a VA hire or retirement. But there's about 4 main sites that I use for VAs, and it's been a good experience. And I mean, the best ones that I've used are usually out of the Philippines. But I've used U.S.-based VAs too. So I just enjoy using VAs for almost anything, because they, like the Pareto principle, 80% of your returns come from 20% of what you do.
Right.
So you should use the VA for the 80%, and then you can do the 20% yourself if you want to take care of that 20%.
You focus on that income, the revenue generation type stuff, and anything else that can give you more time to work on that. Just farm it out. And I've had great experiences with using people and using services like Upwork, and I think you get better at it. You know when you find somebody good, like I found some pretty good resources, and I know that I could always go back, and even if they're busy, they'll put time in to get it done, whether it's making or designing a logo or it's writing a headline for a marketing campaign that I'm running, or something like that. But you and I pretty much,
there's a VA for pretty much anything.
There's a VA for pretty much anything you want to do. So what's great about the age that we're living in is that, like you said, you become a CEO of your own business, but CEOs are only as good as the team around them.
Yeah.
So all you do is you just interview and you find the right VAs, you find the right contractors, and you assemble your own team. And maybe it'll take a while to find those right people and those right fit, but you can definitely do it, and you can have your own virtual business anywhere. You've worked from home since you came back from Japan.
Right.
For yourself. You haven't.
The whole time. I never even tried to get a job ever. Since 2011.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I never, not one time, even thought about it, because I was just like, man, there's people doing so many different things online. If I get about 3 solid things, I think I was reading that, like, if you get 7 solid streams of income, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. So
right. I like that. Yeah, I got that from you. I thought, and I've used that since. I steal some of your stuff.
Yeah,
and not,
take it. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I was like, if I set up at least 2 or 3, and then another thing is, like you said, the incrementalism. A lot of times, people want that instant gratification, but usually with a business, they said that you should expect the first year to be, to just suck in any business. Mm-hmm. You'll get lucky, maybe. It should be the same way with, like we're talking about crypto. You should think of it the same way. Oh, okay, I'm going to invest in let's just pick a random crypto, Stellar Lumens. And then just say, okay, this whole first year is going to be a bear market. That's the best way to look at it.
That's right.
DCA into it. Just don't look at the price and check it. We're not going to get in all these details, but don't check the price every day or every 2 days or whatever. Just say this year I believe that this is a solid protocol. And eventually 5 years from now, it's going to be whatever. It's going to be, it's going to moon.
That's right.
I'll be on the rocket ship. But just assume that, like, your business for the first year, or your crypto, or your stocks, your ETF, whatever you're investing in, it's going to suck for the first year. Then you can just be disciplined and say, okay, long term it's going to be good, but the first year it's going to kind of suck. So then you're not checking, and like you're not FOMOing, a fear of missing out, FOMOing into other stuff because you're like, wait a minute, there's
you
something.
get that shiny object syndrome too.
Shiny object syndrome, FOMOing. I had that. We were both professionals at that, so we know all about that.
I was professionals at those seminars that used to be on late at night, and there would be, I think Tony Robbins did them, and it was back in the day where they would sell different things, and it was like 2 a.m. I couldn't sleep. I'm like, oh wow, does that product look awesome? And I know a lot of people that became addicted to that stuff, and I guess it was the same for me with these different opportunities. When you read those headlines and it makes it seem like you're going to make such and such, you're going to generate this amount of income in this amount of time. And that is such a attractive thing because everybody wants everything now.
Yeah.
The reality of it is those people are really good at putting courses together, but not actually getting anybody to make changes. They don't even have that success themselves.
Oh, right. Or kind of like a life coach. I was telling somebody, like, my opinion of life coaches is a life coach can teach you how to be a life coach. That's what they can teach you.
That's right, but not necessarily results. Are they results driven? Or have they done it themselves? And do they realize, because if anybody's telling you that you can do it in a certain amount of time, I guess it's possible if you use the same work ethic. And that's why those disclaimers will often say, you can achieve these results, but keep in mind that everybody has their own work ethic and everybody has their own focus. But if you can focus and double down, we've all done that. If you just pick one thing out of the thousands of little shiny things that we see all the time come across our inbox, right? If you just pick one of those damn things and you wait, and it's good and it's not illegal. I mean, and it's that's
a good,
it's legitimate.
Right.
Most of the stuff that I've done in the past, if I would have just stuck to it and I didn't have that instant gratification, that's what I've known. That's what I've learned the most about all this is that, oh man, just plant the seed, water it every once in a while, don't have expectations, know that the first year is probably you're going to fall down and you're going to, want to quit and you're going to stick to it. And don't expect, if it's in crypto, don't expect a bear market the whole time. And if it's a job, just expect you're going to learn a lot and fail a lot. And, but stick with it. That's, I guess we could stick to itiveness.
Yeah,
exactly. That's probably the thing that in this first episode that we're doing, and we talk about it a lot, is just have delayed gratification in everything that you're doing and you will be successful. If you just delay it a little bit. No, because everyone else, the sheep out there, they'll drop off something if they don't see results in a week. I told you the crypto trading signals unify opportunity that I'm working on. You'll see people that it's like, hey, Matt, I am all in. Let's do this. I want to trade crypto. I know you can only make money legally in a couple of different ways in crypto. I know it's going to work. I'm going to use these signals. Let's do it. Okay, awesome. Let's set up a time every day, and this is the results that you want to achieve. Within 2 weeks, Bitcoin didn't go up, like it was supposed to, like we all thought it was going to. Oh, hold on a second. We're going to have to edit this one out. Hold on. That's all right. This kind of stuff can happen in live publication, in live broadcast, right?
Oh yeah. We've seen some where the people are like, "Oh, hold on, hold on, man, I don't know what I'm doing." They're just basically right.
It's
more entertaining to me when stuff happens during people. You know what I mean? Because you're like, man, what was that?
It keeps it real because that's what it is.
Yeah.
But I was just saying about these people that really, they're used to coming home from work. They're 9-to-5 jobs. They're not happy, but they're not willing to put in the time when they get home because they're too tired naturally from working all day, from clocking in and working for the man. And they want to change, but they're not willing to work another 3 or 4 or maybe even an hour sometimes if their favorite TV show's on, and they don't want to discipline themselves, to not watch Breaking Bad, for a couple of nights out of the week.
Well, yeah, right. And
it blows my mind.
Well, and then people underestimate. Oh, all right. People underestimate.
See, that's real. It's your wife calling you for dinner and go shopping.
Yeah.
That's all right.
They overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. So a lot of people are like, if you overestimate what you can do in a day, that means that like when you think of doing something else, first you're like, man, I want to make more money, or you see some story online of some guy that started selling on eBay. Now he makes 300,000 a year.
Right.
You don't see any of the in between stuff. So then you start thinking, man, I'd like to do it. I'm going to open up an eBay account. But then it starts hitting you like, man, I bet that takes a lot of work. I don't have any time. I'm tired. I already got a job. And then you just never do anything else.
And then you never do it because you'd like that security of getting that guaranteed check.
Yeah.
And you know that it's always worked. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But really what it is broke because your attitude about getting up every day, you're not waking up with serotonin flowing through your bloodstream. You're worrying about the day's events because that's what you did last week and the week before and the year before. And unless you break that pattern, and maybe we can talk about the things that we've done to break the patterns on the next episode of Matt and Tim show.
Sounds good.
I love to say that, man. But I know my wife has got some food on the stove, so I know you've got to go shopping. But listen, thanks for taking the time to do this, man. This was cool.
Cool, man. Send me the
recording
of this. I will send it over to old Peter.
Yeah, send it to Peter and then upload it to your channel. You have a channel, right? Now?
Yeah, but I want to make a new one. I want to make a different one specifically for this.
Okay, cool.
Mine's got too much different. It's got judo stuff and matches from it's all types of stuff. So
I hear you. Sometimes though, keeping a channel and just revising it because it has a little bit of a track record and some history might be better than starting from scratch. But I guess there's different views on that.
Good point.
You know, because at the end of the day, judo is you.
Right.
So I know you got to go, but man, this was awesome to get our first one done, and I look forward to episode 2.
Yeah, I agree. I do too.
So thanks everybody. We appreciate you watching. Anybody that comes across this is our first one, so be patient with us while we work on some things. I just had a light almost drop on my head during the filming of this.
No. So. Averted a disaster. Right
I just averted a disaster. Exactly. All right, man. Well, we'll see each other on the next episode, whether it's next Sunday or whether it's sometime in the week. We'll do it random.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
I'll send this to you.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, man.
Take care.
All right. You too, man.